If you really think about it, BMO Harris is a solid institution. So in today's conversation, I actually want to walk you through their $1 million business loan application. I want to show you line by line instructions. As a matter of fact, if you have a FICO score of 560 minimum, you can qualify for this loan. So I will show you how to fill out the form. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome City Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you had to ask me. If you are doing as great and blessed as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about the BMO Harris $1 million business loan application, line by line instructions, how to fill out the form. If you can look on the screen right now, folks, here is a page where you have all the information about the BMO Harris business loan. With BMO Harris, you have line of credits amounts that range from $10,000 to $1 million. We have business loan amounts that go from $100,000 to $1 million. And the cool thing here is that you can choose a fixed rate term loan or variable rate revolving line of credit. In today's conversation, we are going to focus on the fixed rate term loan. And you can, if you want to have larger amounts, BMO might ask for collateral. So you want to think about the kind of collateral you want to pledge. But if you're still below $500,000, you're good. You can get the loan on an unsecured basis. It's better also to have a BMO Harris business checking account so you can benefit from the 0.25 rate discount with what they call the auto debit. And we love the fact that they have a simple application process that makes things very quick when it comes to approving you. If you have any question, folks, this tutorial should be the first step, but please contact BMO Harris for more information. You want to start by downloading the BMO Harris business loan application. We're showing you on the screen here the link, and so you have all the information. And you have to understand that there is something called the loan/line of credit application. It's the same form. So if you want to boost your chances, you need to have a completed application signed by all applicants and guarantors. So you need to have copies of articles of incorporation with bylaws and amendments, general or limited partnership agreement and amendments, limited liability company articles of organization, operating agreements and amendments. You might need to have some collateral information required for all loan sizes to be provided as supplementals to this application, as long as the loan is below $500,000. So you want to have copies of insurance policies for all assets being pledged as collateral for a loan, equipment/vehicle collateral description, copy of the most recent investment statements for a loan secured by marketable securities. And BMO also provides SBA loans and lines of credits. So this also is important to know, but we're not covering that in today's conversation. And with the request for total borrower commitment over $100,000, you need to provide business tax returns or accountant prepared financial statements, personal tax returns for the past 2 years, most recent 3 months of business deposit account statements. If business tax returns or personal tax returns are self-prepared and total borrower commitment is over $250,000, you need to provide Form 4506C and Form 4506C disclosure. Okay, very important. Now let's dig a little deeper here. Let's start the application process. You can see on the screen here. Here is how the application form looks like. So what you want to do is you want to check. You see on top you have you want to check business loan/line of credit application checklist. Okay, and because we're not here, we're not covering the agricultural loan here. This is strictly for a business loan. So you want to check that, and the next, you want to bypass that. You want to ignore it because you're not actually submitting anything for a business credit card application. This is strictly for a business loan application. So let's move on to the next slide. Here you have nothing to do. This is for internal use only. So you want to leave this to the BMO Harris loan processing agent. So you want to skip that. Moving on, let's have the application itself. So here you can see that in section A it says standard credit request. So you have several options, right? You have a constellation of options. So you have line of credit, standalone letter of credit, SBA, settlement line, term loan, commercial mortgage, SBA, construction loan, minimum, all that kind of stuff. For this purpose, for this tutorial, we want to focus on the term loan. This is all we care about. But this is kind of cool because it shows you the repertoire of business loans that BMO Harris offers. So you want to check the term loan box. Okay, you can see that. And now let's move on to B, section B. It says here specialty programs, credit request. So line of credit, total bank exposure cannot exceed $50,000. In other words, that if you want to have a special programs credit, BMO Harris is not going to lend you anything above 50K. But in case you're interested, you can put that here, and you can actually put the amount that you request and the primary purpose for the line of credit. But again, folks, in this show, we are focusing on the business loan, no line of credit, nothing else. But it's good to show you what you can see on the application form. And there are two specialty programs that you might qualify for. They have BMO for Black and Latinx businesses, or women in business. If those apply to you and you're interested in that kind of program, go ahead and check the box. Next, you have applicants' financial performance questions. And so here, this is specifically about the COVID-19 situation. So they're asking you a few questions, but for the purposes of this tutorial, we're not going to focus on anything temporary. But again, if this applies to your business, please go ahead and fill in the right section. So here, they are asking you, do you wish to use only 2020 business financial information for underwriting your credit request? You can say yes or no. But in this case, we choose actually to bypass this section. As a matter of fact, we actually will put no, because we basically want to do an evergreen standalone application process that doesn't really rely on something temporary that happens 1 year. Okay, so we're going to bypass that. So we're moving on here, folks. On the next screenshot, you're seeing here that they're saying that COVID impacted businesses in different ways. Yes, of course. So they're asking you a few questions about COVID. Now, I'm going to quickly go through this, even though I don't want to linger too much on this section, but I'm going to quickly go through it. They're asking you on the application form whether or not COVID caused a decline more than 10% loss in revenue in your business. So you have two options, either yes or no. Okay, so if you said yes, then you have to complete the related questions. If you said no, you have to actually use your 2020 business revenue and financial information on this application. So for us, we just wanted to put no for the sake of this explanation. But obviously, every business has a specific situation. And obviously, most businesses got affected by COVID-19. So if you are affected by COVID-19, please, if you believe that you need more information or you need more room on the application form to explain what really happened, you can write your explanatory statement on a separate sheet. Not a problem. And all you have to do is just attach it to this application. Okay. And the next question is, has your 2021 revenue improved in comparison to 2020, and your last 3 months of deposit behavior can demonstrate this improvement? Yes or no, you have to choose. Okay. And so, and the third question is, if your total borrower commitment, including this credit request, is $100,000 or less, please provide your information below so we can analyze financial information and deposit activity in the past 90 days. The bottom line for this section, folks, is that BMO wants to make sure that they want to make sure of three things. Number one, whether you were affected by COVID-19. Number two, if you were affected, how much adverse impact did the pandemic have on your business? And number three, have you actually resumed your normal activities? The bottom line here is that you need to have a BMO Harris business bank account so they can see that, okay, even though you were affected adversely by the COVID-19 pandemic, things are picking up or you're doing better now. And they should be able to see that in the cash flows. Of course, they're going to ask you your financial statements. They're going to ask you your statement of cash flows. They're going to ask you your balance sheet. They're going to ask you your statement of income, your P&L, just to sort of gauge the health. Just want to gauge whether your balance sheet is currently languid, currently lethargic, or very dynamic. Let's continue the application here. So first, they want to know more about the business applicant. So you can see here that they are asking you for the legal name of the business. You have to put the name of the business, the address, the city where the company is located, the headquarters, the state, the zip, the email address, and the email contact name. If this is a single member LLC, just put your first name, your first and last name, okay? And here they say, if applicable, please list all assumed business names under which the business does business. This is something called a DBA, doing business as, because BMO just want to have an idea of who they're dealing with, of whom they are dealing with, okay? Next, if you go to the right, you need to describe the business. You want to put your tax identification number. This is also called the EIN, your employer identification number. This is a 9-digit number, right, that the IRS will give you. You want to put more information about the business, when you established the business, how many years you have owned the business bank name. If you have non-BMO Harris total deposit balance, you want to actually mention that. Gross annual sales, business net income before taxes, and the request with total borrower commitment up to $50,000. You need to provide your interest expense and your depreciation expense. Depreciation actually relates to the fixed assets that you have. If you look into your accounting software, whether it is QuickBooks, Xero, or Expensify, or whatever software you have, you'll probably see that. You'll probably see your depreciation expense. And you need to mention the type of business entity. Okay, so you have a repertoire of legal structures here. And our preference is LLC, limited liability company, okay? And you have to put the business applicant debt if you have some debts right now. This information is readily available on the company's balance sheet in the short-term liabilities and the long-term liabilities section. So you want to put everything about the business loan. And the one thing I want to see here is that if you're a nonprofit, you wanted to fill out the form about the nonprofit information only. But again, this is something that you need to think about. And one thing I also need to say here is that I'm not going to focus too much on the nonprofit section. I just want to say one last thing about the business applicant information. Make sure that the information you put on this sheet in the business applicant debt, make sure that this information ties into your balance sheet information, as well as your income statement, and as well as your statement of cash flows. For example, on the statement of cash flows, there is a section called cash flows from financing activities. BMO Harris should be able to tie whatever interest, whatever loan information you have to data in the statement of cash flows, specifically in that cash flows from financing activities. Same thing for the income statement. When you pay interest, it's called interest expense. It's a component of the income statements. So BMO should be able to tie those data in and out. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Strategy, which we are also having a conversation about the BMO Harris $1 million business loan application line by line instructions. I'm actually walking you through all the information, all the steps you need to take to get this loan. Now let's talk about the owner/guarantor information. Remember, if I told you what I told you before, right? If you're asking for a large loan amount, let's say $500,000, and in some cases more than $250,000, BMO Harris want to have some kind of personal guarantee. There's nothing you can do about it. So here you want to actually check see where it says owner guarantor. You want to check the box if applicable. So they want to know your control prong and your ownership prong. Okay. Now, this talks about your ownership and management structure. Are you the CEO? Are you someone who actually controls a lot of, who exercises great control, significant control over the business? So you want to put more information, the business name, applicable only if a business other than the borrowers will serve as guarantor. Okay. So this here, you have to put this if let's say you have another business, you have company A, and company A is applying for this loan, and you have company B that wants to serve as a guarantor for company A's loan, because the guarantor / owner can be a business or an entity, right? So you put the info for the business, applicable information, everything from address to, or if you have if it's a person, then you put the person's address, phone number, zip, all identifying information, social security number, driver's license number, the person's debts, including their mortgage, all that kind of interesting stuff. So that's on this for the balance sheet, right? And then you have the personal income and financial statements. If you look to the right, okay, so you have to put your household income, total income, other sources of income. You have to put your assets and liabilities. So this is for the balance sheet. So assets, cash and equivalents, investable assets that includes stocks, bonds, ETFs, everything that you buy from a brokerage account. You have residential real estate, retirement accounts, other assets. You add all those things up, and you do the same for the credit card, mortgages, other liabilities. So you, on one end, you have your total assets, and on the other hand, you have your total liabilities. So when you subtract total asset from total liabilities, you have your net worth. And so next you can see on the screen, you have to read and sign some information about the guarantee. This is a very important. This is a legal document. So make sure you read this for real. Okay, don't skip through it. This is not like some kind of credit card, fine print. No, this is important. Read it. And once you're comfortable with the language, if you don't understand, please hire a lawyer to kind of help you understand this. So put your name. You want to print your first and last name. Put your title and a date, and you sign. And if there is an additional owner in this business, you want to input the information there as well. Next, I want you to look on the screen right now. We are going to talk about the collateral information. So if you have to provide collateral, especially for business loan amounts that are high, usually if you're asking for business loans above $250,000, you might need to provide collateral. If you're asking for a line of credit above $100,000, you might need to provide collateral. But now the program varies from state to state. Okay, so you want to contact BMO to have more information. And here they are asking you, like, if the credit request for a line of credit is above 100,000. If yes, you have to provide collateral. If no, no. Now, if you selected no for this question, please describe the collateral in which you will grant BMO Harris a security interest. Again, this is if you are asking for more than 100,000. But again, we're not going through this because this is not for a line of credit. This is for a term loan, but the process is analogous. The process is similar, okay? If you were to provide collateral, here is a type of collateral that BMO Harris is comfortable with. So they can take all business assets. So this includes accounts receivable, inventory assets, and equipment assets. So when you go back to your company's balance sheet, you look into the assets category. Everything that is in there can serve as collateral. You can use real estate. It can be commercial property or commercial residential property. So you put all the information there. If whatever is related to the collateral, you put in there. And if you want to pledge certificates of deposits or savings accounts amounts as collateral, you can choose that too. Now remember that in this case, they want you to park your CDs with them. They want you to park your moolah with them, your ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. So they don't want you to have the CD and savings account in another bank. They want you to have them with them. So you can do the same thing for BMO Harris marketable securities. Marketable securities means everything from stocks, bonds. It's just any security, any financial instrument you can sell at once. You can sell with no problem. That is marketable. Okay, it's something that is illiquid. A financial security that is a financial instrument that is not liquid is not marketable. It can be marketable, but it's not that easy. So you want something that is very liquid. There are other collateral options, as you can see on the screen here, and this could be vehicle, equipment, all farm assets. If those apply to you, go ahead and actually do that. And you have to put the disbursement request and authorization. You want to deposit the loan proceeds to your BMO Harris business checking account. This is actually the preferred option. Obviously, you don't have to, but it's a lot better. Okay, but the other information actually relates to the line of credit. But they want you also to, you see where it says loan/line of credit repayment information? You want to choose automatic payments. Yes, you want to check that box so that you can provide the information where you want BMO to take the money from. So the depository, bank name, the account number, and the routing number. And next, you want to read all the disclosures. This carry legal importance, so please read it. If you have no knack for legal lingo, legal jargon, please hire a lawyer who can really walk you through all of this. So you want to check the appropriate box here. So if borrower is an individual or a sole proprietor, check one of the boxes below. So you can choose box A. I am applying for an individual account in my own name, and I am relying on my own income or assets, another income or assets of another person as the basis for repayments of the credit requested. Okay, so this is, and if you are in Wisconsin or Arizona, if you are and you are a sole proprietor or individual in those two states, you must say whether you are relying on your home, on your own income or assets and marital community property. So the next screenshot here, you have to say the same thing. If you see where it says section B, I am applying for a joint account or an account that another person and I will use. So basically you have to actually choose the section that applies to you. And the third option, option C, is I am applying for an individual, but I am relying on income from alimony, child support, or separate maintenance, or on the income or assets of another person as the basis for repayments of the credit requested. So here, they just want to have more information to understand where the money is going to come from, what kind of income are you going to rely on to repay the loan, right? So they're just covering their ass. BMO Harris is just covering their ass here. So provide the required information as promptly and accurately as possible. And here you need to actually provide the applicable signatures for fields marked with an X. So you can see that you want to put the business name. Please print that. If the business is the applicant here, you want to print the business name. You want to put your title. You want to print your first, middle, and last names and date it. Okay, you want to sign, and you want to do this for all owners, all significant people within the company. So you can do the same if there is another person, and if you are applying as an individual, then you just ignore the section where it says print business name. For example, if you're a sole proprietor, you don't have let's say a legally structured business, you can just sign it as yourself. And I want to quickly show you a few things before closing today here. So there are some important legal, this is some kind of legal literature you need to read also. You can see on the screen here, it says important information about procedures for opening a new account. And this, I want you to read this also because if you want to get the BMO Harris $1 million EIN only business loan, 9 times out of 10, you want to have an account with them. You want to have a business checking account with them. So you really want to spend time to read this, to read the terms and conditions under which BMO Harris Bank operates. And you also want to understand how they are going to interact with you once you have the account. As a matter of fact, we have told we have said this on gazillions of videos, you want to establish an MPR, a multi-product relationship with BMO Harris. You want to have not only a business checking account, but also a business savings account, and you want to hire them for other services. Okay, and they are talking about important notice if your loan or line of credit is to be secured by a first lien on a dwelling. So you want to read this also. This is for if you want to pledge a house, some kind of property as collateral, you want to read this. And there's also a notice about sharing and use of personal information within the BMO financial group of companies. So this is where you actually are giving them permission to use your data within the boundaries of the law for whatever reasons, okay? And there are also 3 pieces of information you need to pay attention to. If you are a California resident, a Vermont resident, or a Nevada resident, there are some, I would say, some legalities you need to pay attention to. But again, you can read this at your convenience. And if you have more information, you can contact the right number. So there's a number. This is if you are a California resident or a Vermont resident, you can call a BMO at 1-888-654-0063, 1-888-654-0063. And if you are in Nevada, you can call 1-702-486-3132, 1-702-486-3132. Again, this is just those are things that you need to know, because if you're going to apply for a loan that goes all the way to $1 million, you want to take care of the legal aspect, because God forbid something happens. If you haven't taken care of the legal aspect, you might be screwed. So you don't want that, okay? All right, this is it for today's conversation, folks. I want to thank you so much for your attention. I was actually giving you the BMO Harris $1 million business loan application line by line instructions, and I was showing you how to fill out the form step by step. Thank you so much for your attention. I will see you next time. I hope this video was valuable to you. And if it was, please smash that like button and share this info so others can actually hear about it. I will see you next time. Thank you. God bless.